Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Digital pulls ad from Zip FM over clown stunt gone ovary. Zip FM has been forced into a public relations spin after a stunt by one of its presenters this week resulted in telecommunications firm Digital pulling its advertising from the radio station. In a viral video that has shown widely condemned on social media, the female presenter is seen presenting a gift wrap bag from Ramon Silveira, who himself gained notoriety this week. This was after he has gone on camera on Monday, verbally abusing passengers in a taxicab in an expletive-laden tirade, while threatening them as he held a piece of board in his hand. Silveira, who described himself as professional clown, demanded that the passengers exited the vehicle that was operating at the same time. Taxi drivers withdrew their services as they demanded a ticket amnesty from the government. He has since been slapped with several charges including assault at common law, disorderly conduct, and using indecent language. The host joked with Silveira after he was handed the bat, urging him to use it responsibly. Not amused, Digital informed that it had pulled its ad from Zip with immediate effect. It advised in a statement on Twitter that the action will last for 30 days. "We care about Jamaica and want the best for our beautiful nation. Like many Jamaicans, we find Zip FM's recent action unacceptable," Digital stated. Zip has informed that action will be taken. It also sought to explain the unauthorized persons recorded and posted the video, which is not on its official platform. However, Twitter users have been scrapping into their comments. Big radio station a look clown? The media plays a pivotal role in what our society has become, one person tweeted. Another tweeted, "This is a perfect example of what we can expect our young generation to act positively because the worst is always being glorified. Sad reality." Another Twitter user suggested that the host should have been suspended for using her position of influence to enhance violence. Victim's family storms out of court after Savannah sentencing in fatal car accident. The sister of a woman who died in a traffic accident involving reggae singer Savannah indicated her disgust Thursday after the entertainer received a non-custodial sentence for causing death by dangerous driving. The artist, whose real name is Anna Blake, was ordered to pay $300,000 fine or spend 2 years in prison when she appeared before Justice Courtney Day in the Westmoreland Parish Court. She is also banned from driving for the next 2 years. On October 31, the entertainer pleaded guilty to a charge of death by dangerous driving in the May 2021 accident that claimed the life of 32-year-old Ordell Cardell. According to the police, Blake was traveling along the Scott Cove Main Road in Whitehouse, Westmoreland, and the car she was driving collided with a Honda Fit going in the opposite direction. Cardell, who was a passenger traveling in the Honda Fit, sustained severe injuries and was admitted to the Black River Hospital, where she later died. While her impact statement was being read in court, Cardell's sister Denise Cardell wept uncontrollably. "I am overwhelmed with grief and was not ready to die. She did not get to start a family," Denise Cardell Impacted Report said. Following the sentencing, she stormed out of court and said she did not wish to comment. Meanwhile, Maria Miller, the driver of the Honda Fit motor car who was also injured in the accident, expressed her displeasure with the sentencing and indicated that she will be taking further legal action. In a thoroughly written victim-impacted statement written by Miller and read by the prosecution, she detailed how the accident impacted her life. The report said the accident left Miller unconscious with fractured ribs and injury to her shoulder and arm. Miller added that following the accident, she had to deal with tremendous medical bills, months of therapy, inability to drive, and difficulty getting into a car because of the scar left by the accident. "I've been changed forever," Miller said in the report, adding that she has been affected psychologically, financially, physically, and mentally. However, that plea was not enough to sway Judge Day into handing down a custodial sentence. Justice Day said Savannah's risk of repeating the offense is low and that even whilst taking the victim impact report into consideration, it won't bring back the deceased. "For what I understand, your risk level is low. You are not likely to repeat this incident. You, Savannah, also suffered injuries. You have some emotional trauma. You are also affected by it," Justice Day reasoned. The judge, in handing down the sentence, pointed to things that were in the artist's favor, including the fact that she pleaded guilty, showed remorse from the beginning, and the incident being her first offense. Meanwhile, the attorney representing the entertainer, Everton DeWard, told reporters that he was pleased with the sentencing. "Mitigation worked out well. It's actually working out as we wanted it to. She's sorry for what transpired, and she apologizes to the deceased family, the ward stated. Government to use 25 or 34 school strategy to target children with antisocial behavior. The Education Ministry intends to use its 25 out of 34 school strategy as a pilot for implementing intervention programs in other spaces targeting children with antisocial behavior. The program is now its second year and has been working in schools that are located in communities under the Zones of Special Operations (ZOSO). Director of Safety and Counsel in Schools, Richard Troop says based on assessment of the first year of the initiative, more attention will be placed on the literacy and numeracy skills in the children. Other areas of focus are attendance and behavior modification.
We have identified 34 schools within the 7 zones of special operation that must be given priority attention by the ministry. We know within these schools they are located in very volatile spaces. That's why the communities were declared as zones of special operation. And our intent is to make sure that we are working in partnership with not only stakeholders in the school, but other critical ministries, agencies, and non-government organizations to bring a coordinated, consolidated effort to this cause. We know from the first year of the intervention that we have to pay careful attention, more targeted attention to literacy and numeracy for our boys and girls. Because if they are not literate and numerate, then the life of crime becomes very attractive to them. We are paying attention to the attendance of our boys and girls. Because if we have school and they are not coming to school, then they cannot be empowered to be productive citizens of this country. And the other thing we're tracking is the behavior of our boys and girls. What kind of intervention will be required to help our children to navigate this period of their lives when they are exposed to so much traumatic situation? By themselves, they cannot function as normal children. How do we mobilize resources within the Ministry of Education and beyond to ensure we are giving targeted approach to these children and their parents? And the intention is to use the 25-34 school strategy as a pilot, as a prototype of what might be possible working in other very difficult spaces.
Agriculture Minister sees record growth despite threats. Agriculture Minister Pernell Charles Jr. has lauded farmers for 6 consecutive quarters of growth since the second quarter of 2021. He said the agriculture sector has been achieving unprecedented number since the start of the year, with the third quarter of 2022 reflecting one of the best performing quarters on record. He said the domestic crop subsector continued to perform well in response to increasing investment and support based on targeted interventions in productivity and marketing. Much of the expansion in various crop groups was facilitated by targeted interventions under the Production and Productivity Program, which provides relief to farmers in the form of chemicals, fertilizers, seeds, and other planting material. Charles Jr. urged farmers to continue the growth trajectory.
Our agriculture sector has been achieving unprecedented numbers since the start of this year, with the third quarter reflecting one of the best performing quarters on record. This progress has continued, and I am proud to report that we have seen a 17.4% increase in production, representing 6 consecutive quarters of growth. Thankfully, the recent heavy rains that we expected and experienced in late September this year following the passage of Tropical Storm Ian, they didn't significantly impact the overall output for the third quarter, given that harvesting had already completed for that period. Gross output for the subsector for the third quarter of 2022 amounted to 214,599.2 tons in comparison to 182,750 tons reaped in the similar period of 2021. I urge our farmers and our fisher folk to continue their present trajectory and to be reassured that the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries remains committed to our ongoing tireless efforts to support the sector, to support you and your families. We have to work together so that we can strengthen our food security drive as we continue to grow smart and eat smart. I want to also urge our Jamaican people to eat smart, which means eat more Jamaican produce, and continue your support of our farmers and fishers so that we can ensure that we are successful in achieving our collective goal of food security.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and